My name is William Frentz, and this is my story. Have you ever dreamed about losing one of your senses? Have you awakened from a dream of being blind, deaf, or mute? Well, for me, that is a daily reality. You see, I was born profoundly deaf in both ears. I wake up that way every day. As I went through the first 4 years of my life as a deaf child, my parents realized I needed a surgical procedure known as a cochlear implantation to help me hear. In 1995, it was a fairly new surgical procedure designed to provide a normal range of hearing. The somber statistic that inspired my parents the most to go forward with the operation was the fact the average deaf adult in the U.S. has a third grade level of vocabulary and literacy. The operation took place on August 24th, 1995, when I was 4 years old. Looking back now at age 16, I don't recall much about preparing for the surgery, the procedure, or the recovery. However, I do remember the first time I turned the cochlear implant device on, and my father asked me, "Can you hear me now?" That reminds me now of a Verizon wireless commercial. You could say that this was a second birth for me. I gained a sense of hearing which I did not have on my birthday, January 14, 1991. In the 12 years since the surgery, I have achieved educational and communication skills equal to any student in my grade. Before the surgery, I only knew sign language, and it was very difficult to communicate with others, especially those who didn't know sign language. It was difficult because I was still learning sign language at a young age when I had the operation. I was very behind the curve in terms of developing my vocabulary and my speech. Consider how much I had to go through to catch up. Learning vocabulary words again, attending the special Louisville Deaf Oral School through kindergarten, and following instructions from 3 or 4 extra teachers and aides throughout grade school. Learning vocabulary was especially hard. You can compare it to a foreigner learning English, since I was hearing words for the first time, but they did not mean anything to me. The Louisville Deaf Oral School and my learning to speak English literally went hand in hand. There, I learned a new vocabulary and how to use full sentences. My parents have told others that the only thing they regret about the implant is that I didn't get it sooner, so I could have developed my speech and listening earlier. I had to learn how to recognize sounds and the words associated with them. Since I am deaf, I am especially sensitive to vibrations and objects. That helped me with my learning how to speak orally. I would place my hand on my throat and notice the vibrations produced with different words. These and other practices made my mother fond of summarizing my cochlear implant in a single word: miracle. My father likes to tell the story about driving in the car not long after the surgery, maybe 6 or 8 months. It was raining and I asked, "What's that noise?" And he said, "The windshield wipers." There are many more instances, such as the first time I heard the sound of a baseball hitting a bat. We also had a woodpecker in our tree I had never heard before. I can also tell you about the time I was pitching a Little League game, and my father, who is our coach, was trying to tell me something I didn't want to hear. My solution was to turn off my processor and pitch without him. I realize I am extremely fortunate to have parents, doctors, and teachers who gave me the sense of hearing which I did not have. I cannot put in words the gratitude and thanks I have for them all. I know my parents had to make some tough decisions regarding my surgery, and I know that they are happy with the results. Looking back at pictures of myself before the surgery, I see a little curly-haired boy who was yet to discover one of the world's greatest gifts, the ability to hear.